Jojo, right? I'm talking to the lady, Christina Aguilera, sitting right there. I don't know how long it's been, but it's good to see you after all this time.
I know. Good to see you too.
Last time I saw you, I had the crazy moppy hair.
It's been quite a while.
Yeah, and I have a photo so we can go down memory lane in a few seconds.
Oh,
I'm going to
boy.
whip out. But not just yet. Let me just say a couple of things. Since the album is called Back to Basics.
Yes.
Which, by the way, it's August 15th.
Yes.
Date of the release. I'm going to take you back to the basics for a quick second, run through a brief memory lane of your career. Little girl, true or false? Of course they called you the little girl with the big voice.
Mm.
You used to do talent competitions. Pittsburgh area, is that right?
Yes.
You were so insanely good that I was told that the other little kids, maybe some not so little kids too, little Christina walk in, these other chumps back out because you'd stepped through. Yes, no, that true?
After a while, yeah. For some of the competitions, I was undefeatable. So
that's huge. Now, I also heard that it got to such a point that, this is from random sources. So tell me true or false once again. People actually, vandalize cars of yours and your family's, maybe tried to steal stuff because they were intimidated or jealous, trying to get back at you. Is that true or false?
Yeah, it was hard for a minute just because living in a small town and whatnot, a suburb right outside of Pittsburgh. The first time that I became locally kind of known for doing events and things like that out of inside the area of Pittsburgh, the city of Pittsburgh, doing singing the anthem for Pittsburgh Pirates, Penguins, Steelers, which were our hometown teams, being kind of the youngest singer to do it, and I started getting a name for myself, and yeah, a lot of the kids at school I don't think knew how to take that attention in a way, so they so it was really hard. I was definitely alienated a lot, bullied at times, and
did you have to move? Did you guys have to move to a different
I did
house?
have to move. Yeah, after a certain amount of time, it got really bad, and we were kind of worried about what would happen. After a while, it got really bad. Some of the threats and whatnot that you kind of
Just
mentioned.
because you could sing.
It's insane, right? It's weird, but I don't know. It was just it wasn't everybody too. I mean, I did have some supporters and people that really tried to appreciate what I did and acknowledged what I did as a good thing, that were supportive. So I'm not going to say everyone was bad, but it got very difficult for a time. I was in grade school and these were high school kids coming at me.
Oh, no
so
kidding.
it was crazy,
This little girl walks in, just knocks him out. Now, I know you were undefeatable up to a certain point. Then you hit the Star Search.
Yes.
And who you were beaten. Who was that girl? And whatever happened to her? And have you guys ever kept in touch? Maybe not from a standpoint of look what happened, but
it was a guy actually,
okay.
And I still get mad that there was a little bit of an age difference. I was 8 years old and he was 12 years old, so I'm like, oh, kind of not fair. No, but I don't know what he's doing now. I really don't. But it was a good experience, feeling defeat in my life. Had to learn to get right back up there and try again,
All right, well, obviously it's working for you. I've never interviewed
7,
him,
8 years old.
but I've interviewed you, so you must be doing something right. Of course, you go to the MMC after that. That's been well documented. You, Justin,
Right,
Brittany, JC, Carrie Russell, all that.
Yeah. Ryan Gosling.
That's true.
Yeah.
Bad Jojo, bad.
No.
In '98, you hit up. You recorded a song. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because of just these vocal abilities you have. You recorded a song, from what I understand, on a handheld recorder in your bathroom that eventually got you the gig doing the track from Mulan.
Mm-hmm.
And you hit some crazy note on this recorder, like a high E, which is something around is a high E. I can't read music, but is that a crazy high note? And how do you hit a note like that?
There's higher, but I had to be able to prove that I could, through the mail, hit that belt. Rather, the high E above middle C kind of thing, on a certain octave. And, I went in my bathroom where the acoustics are good, makeshift microphone, speaker system. And, I belted this note, I think, to an old Whitney Houston song. And that was sent along with, some info about me. And when they heard it, I got flown out to LA. And in that week that they heard me sing it live and in person and see me, I got my record deal and the Mulan soundtrack for the Disney movie kind of cartoon at that time, all in the same week. So it was an exciting week.
My God. And is it possible two questions about your vocal ability. can you break glass with your voice? Have you ever done that, or is it possible?
I think it is possible, but I've never done it.
And B, can it be taught? Can somebody be taught to do what you do, or do you have to be just born with that gift of range?
For me, I mean, everybody's got their own, special qualities and whatnot. For me, I don't even look at it as, approaching a song with how many notes can I hit or an album per se like that. This is something that was embedded in me since a really young age. This is what I was meant to do. It's a need for me to be able to use my voice as my release. And music has always been my form of expression and my outlet, really, per se, to let myself go and feel free. And that's what I always got from it at a really early age. And it's still what I love to do and I'm so passionate about. So.
All right, before we get back to basics, we're going to go back once again. First time you and I met, I believe it was 1999. I have a photo of you and I when your first album came out.
Oh, my goodness.
You look beautiful. I look like a tool.
I don't know. It'll be a road down memory lane for me, too. Different, Christina.
I'll show it to the camera in a second. Look at that.
Aw, it's cute.
Here is a photo. She's beautiful. And I have a boy band necklace around my neck and some moppy hair. And I think this may not be the first time we met, but it is probably within 2 or 3 months of the first time we met. And that's when What a Girl Wants, of course, Genie in a Bottle hit.
That was my first in-store signing, I think.
Was it really?
I think so.
This was, I want to say, the warehouse next to the Beverly Center, or was it Tower?
Wow, look at those crazy nails I'm sporting.
Look at that. You will claw your
Not
eyes
anymore.
out. Wow. All right, so a lot of stuff has happened since that moment. Of course, you've had Dirty came out, or Strip came out, of course, with Dirty on it, and you changed your image.
Yeah. Many different sides.
You changed your image from the first album to Stripped because you weren't feeling your image at that point, and you didn't feel it represented you.
Well, it's a growth process, at a certain point, and to this day, too. For the next record, it won't be where I'm at now, but this is where I'm at now, what I'm inspired by, what I want to share with the world. I always try to come through with honesty, and after a certain while of working my first record, it was during a whole pop explosion. It was a great time for me to be exploded onto the world, to get my voice heard, and my dream came true at that moment. But after a while, playing by the label's rules, they wanted me to kind of stay in that box. I felt like forever, and I was growing at the speed of light, absorbing everything around me. Being so young and in this business, you learn, I think, a lot of things very quickly that are thrown at you with this regarding the schedule, etc. So I thank God for that because it wouldn't have made Stripped. I thank God for Stripped because it wouldn't have made this record now. Who knows what I'll have grown into for the next record. But the constant goal here is to keep on challenging myself and always thinking in a new direction and thinking left field and always pushing the envelope and challenging my own ability to be as creative as possible with each record in a different light.
And moving on to Back to Basics, which once again, it's out August 15th. If you're watching this after August 15th, you should already have it. But the biggest change in your life since that point is a dude named Jordan.
There is.
Walk me through, if you don't mind, maybe just the whole process of love. Was it love at first sight? How did you meet?
No, I don't think it's that cut and dry. It's a whole growth process. I think with the person that you decide to marry, we've been together now for about 4.5, going on 5 years now, freshly newlywed as of almost a year ago, and it's a beautiful time for me. I think the first thing that really spoke true to me from Jordan was his pure honesty and his genuine ability to connect on a very honest level. He's my backbone and he's my best friend, and he's my support system in what I do creatively as a woman, as an artist. He's that for me, and I try to be that for him. It's a partnership when you get married, and it's just a beautiful space for me right now. And I think the record reflects a lot of that feel good quality in the music and the lyrical content, and really proud of what this record has to offer, so it's really exciting.
Which records did he inspire, or which tracks off this new album did he inspire, or was it like an overall inspiration from him?
No, there's different lyrical content, on each song, so each song serves a specific separate purpose. Not every song is about him, no, but there was quite a few, songs inspired by him. I'm not going to say dedicated to. There's one particular song that I actually did go ahead and dedicate to him that comes from my heart, called "Save Me From Myself," using only, string quartet of 4 and an acoustic guitar, and my vocal sung in a way that has never really been heard on record before, which is very interesting production that I did with Linda Perry on disc 2. But you get the best of both worlds with this record. It's a really interesting thing to approach one specific concept, making a throwback album with a modern day twist, but projecting it out there in 2 very different lights.
Interesting. All right, another question about the relationship. I gotta know this. How did he propose? Did he pull like a great stunt? Because I'm always looking for,
No stunts, it's a very special time, so I don't think he wanted to make it a comical thing, but it was such a sweet thing. He totally got me by surprise, first and foremost. We did it in a very, special place, special area. We got away from everything and everybody, and he did it right. Let's just say he's very romantic.
Good for you. Well, I don't want to leave out any thoughts on the album, but any highlights you think people need to know about?
The album cover looks like that. Go look for it in the stores. Very, very exciting.
2 CD set.
I know, these are my 2 babies. I've worked so hard,
How many tracks did you go through before you selected the tracks for the album?
How many songs? Oh, well, actually,
I assume there's probably
that's
10.
why it ended up being a 22 CD set, because 2-disc set, just because I was so connected to so much of the material that I was recording that I couldn't part with very many of them. Like I said, each of them hold a very specific purpose and have a special meaning to me. So it's like parting with your baby or your child in a way. Really, they're all very personal stories and meanings, and it's just an exciting ride of an album to listen to. I think it takes you through an amazing journey. It crosses so many different, areas and covers so much ground and in a new light. So I think it's something that the whole family can enjoy too. If you walk away from this album not liking at least something about it, there's something wrong.
Some serious issues.
It's super fun. It's super fun.
Double CD set. Something on there you're going to love, or like she said, you got some problems. I guess that pretty much wraps it up, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Look where she's come. From that to her now. Don't even look at me. That's irrelevant.
A little ways.
You guys, Christina Aguilera. I'm Jojo Wright. Enjoy.